So, I one of my pet peeves is false equivalencies in the media, and usually see that on places like NBC, MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the mainstream news media outlets. That's why we exist, right? Because we're the antidote to those kind of places, right? But guess what? Al Jazeera, which, the joke I do about Al Jazeera, the difference between Al Jazeera and CNN is that CNN shows the bombs taking off and Al Jazeera shows you when they land, right? Okay, so we always liked Al Jazeera, even though they're bought by a government, they still, in America, would give you pretty good news. Then I was watching this. They did a news segment, and it was about how the Republicans and Democrats seem to be living in two different Americas. Let's listen.
But what America are we talking about? The Democratic America?
I'm going to build on the progress we've made.
Or the Republican America?
Our freedom is under attack. Our economy is underwater.
Okay, that's just funny.
Did he look panicked immediately?
He does look panicked. He's not the guy you want to turn to when the plane starts rattling. He always looks nervous, Jeb Bush. Okay, so they're doing a piece, and it's all about how the Democrats and Republicans seem to be living in two different worlds, and the presidential candidates seem to be targeting totally different people from two different countries.
Like they're running for president of two different countries.
Yeah, so that's the Al Jazeera premise. It seems like they're running for president of two different countries, it starts off okay, and then it starts to go a little off the rails.
Part of all this has to do with which party is in the White House. With President Obama in the Oval Office, the Democrats have to convince Americans that the country is on the right track and they should stay in power. It's the opposite for the Republicans. But that's not the only reason for these sharply different messages.
The parties have sort of become more ideologically cohesive, perhaps more so than ever in American history, which I think contributes to the partisan divide you see in the country.
At one time, there were moderate Republican leaders and conservative Democrats. Now they're nearly extinct.
Conservative Democrats? That's all there is left right now. Yeah. Conservative Democrats. Are you kidding me? There are no, liberalism is over. Barack Obama's in bed with Wall Street. He's in bed with the military-industrial complex. It's over. What are you talking about? We're left with, on the margins. A liberal Democrat they call him a crazy socialist. That's called Bernie Sanders. He's the crazy liberal now. Would you agree with me, Frank, on this?
Yeah, pretty much. I think I might say that instead of calling Obama conservative, I would more likely call him a moderate Republican.
Right. So he's beyond being a conservative Democrat. He's actually
he has supported liberal. To be fair, he has supported some liberal things, and he's pro-choice like Hillary is. So.
Right. It used to be, but also the Republicans used to also support Planned Parenthood. They used to believe in climate change. My point is, there are still conservative Democrats. In fact, most of them are. In fact, the president.
A lot of conservative Democrats.
In fact, the president of the United States right now is a conservative Democrat. People like us consider him a moderate Republican. So this crazy. So what happened was the Republican Party got way more conservative. And again, here's even Al Jazeera pretending that, look, both sides do it. Both sides went, they both go to their base. Let's get a little bit more. That's crazy that she said there's no more conservative Democrats. We have a moderate Republican Democrat right now as president. Here we go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We just spent the last 30 years with every Democrat terrified of saying the environment, health care, guns,
right.
Terrified of talking about the issues that matter to liberal Americans. So that
yes, this is.
I don't know what the hell narrative she's reading from, but it has nothing to do with what's actually going on.
Okay, let's keep going.
Hillary!
And fewer Americans see themselves in the middle politically. According to the Pew Research Center, the share of Americans who identify as either consistently liberal or consistently conservative has grown to 21%, more than double what it was 2 decades ago.
That is a most useless stat I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to read it to you, Frank, so you can hear it on the Skype.
I agree.
In 1994, 10% of Americans identified as consistently liberal or consistently conservative. Now, in 2014, that number jumped 11% up to 21% of Americans identify as consistently liberal or consistently conservative. So we don't know if that 11% growth is 11% conservatives, 11% liberals, half and half. They imply it's half and half, but I guarantee goddamn to you it's not.